What's good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, and the QQQ. I'm going to break down what happened with the PCE numbers that just came out, and also what's happening with the news affecting the markets, and what you should be watching for as we progress today. But before I break anything down, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, let's talk about what's going on with the market. The market has gapped up and it's pushing up to this resistance at this 474 area on SPY. And we're seeing the same thing happening. Tesla's green, Nvda is green, Aapl green, QQQ green. The market is pushing right now. And this is what I predicted would happen. As I said, the market's going to push up very nicely. And that's because of the fact that we have the PCE report coming in softer than expected. Once again, this is what we predicted. So PCE was up 0.1%, below expectations month over month on the core side. PCE overall was also up only, it was actually up 0.1%. So technically it was down. That is below expectations right here. And these two more columns show a 2.6% PCE year over year, which is below the consensus in the forecast, and core PCE was below expectations at 3.2%. That is bullish news for the markets. The market is pushing so far, and that's once again something we expected because of the fact that CPI was decent. Now, although the market is pushing, we have another big set of data coming out, guys. We'll see what this causes for the markets. We're going to see some high volatility, in my opinion, once this comes out. We have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Reports coming out, new home sales, the Michigan 5-year inflationary expectations reports, the Michigan current conditions reports, and all this data from Michigan about inflationary expectations, consumer sentiment, and etc. This may lead to some volatility at 10 o'clock a.m. or 30 minutes after market open. And by 10 a.m., I'm referring to Eastern Standard Time. 30 minutes after market open, watch and see some volatility. It is going to be the last Friday before Christmas weekend, so we'll see what happens with that. Now, although the market fell on Wednesday, we're seeing the market making a nice recovery. There's some news that came out that Nike shares have slumped 10% because it says it plans on cutting $2 billion worth of costs in the next 3 years. This is worth noting because when you see these big drops, those could be some opportunities to go long, just to like scalp it on the way up if you ever want to, or at least just make a nice attempt to do so. Supply chain concerns are back in the way. Cargo prices are soaring as ocean freight vessels are diverting away from the Red Sea amidst some issues. So that's why the U.S. military mentioned they may get involved. This is not good for supply chains. You want to be very careful with all these, these different tensions. There's also some news that came out. Chick-fil-A, being the third largest restaurant chain in the U.S. by sales overall, basically, this is actually getting more and more recognition from different outlets, so that's good news for them. But right now we're seeing some nice growth for them, so I was just looking at that for the time being. But for now, that's pretty much it for the markets. Not seeing any other crazy pieces of news. I just want to now focus on the charts and break down something very important. SPY's max pan at the time I'm recording this is around 471, but as of right now, it's still pushing up very nicely, and we're still seeing it fighting this resistance. Now, we expected this thing to basically gap up and go, and we're going to be fighting this resistance right here. I'm going to zoom out and go on the 4-hour time frame just to show you the chart looks bullish. It looks bullish on the 4-hour. It looks like it might push up higher, and it might try to make its way back up to this high right here. So with that being said, guys, when you zoom out on SPY, I'm on SPY right now. The chart looks bullish. It looks like it's going to push a little more, try to fight 474. If it breaks this, watch this imbalance at 475, then we have 475.9. Could push up higher and higher slowly. But first off, watch and see what happens with the new home sales, all this data. We're going to be watching to see if this helps us push even higher or if we get a big rejection. If we break 476, we could be pushing for 478 and 480 above that. There's also over 1 million puts expiring on SPY. The majority of positions are puts, so we'll see if this leads to a short squeeze. One last pump before the weekend. We'll see if that ends up being the case. But watch and see resistance and see if we end up rejecting. If we get a rejection somewhere between 474 and 476, watch this bottom trend line. Wherever we are, this is going to be our support. In order to turn bearish, you basically want this to happen, okay? Let me just clarify something. We're still bullish, guys. We're pushing like this. We could just keep going like this, hypothetically, right? If you want to turn bearish, you want to see this thing basically test this trend line and then break below it, and that's going to be like a bearish catalyst. If we end up losing this white trend line, that's going to be bearish. So far, it hasn't done that, but I just wanted to show you what you want to be watching for. As of right now, the chart looks bullish. However, I was just showing you guys an example of what you need to be watching for. On the QQQ, Looks bullish. We're testing 409. We're going to be looking for a push for about 409.6 and 410. That's where you have this resistance up here, this imbalance that's pushing it higher. Watch for volatility at 10 o'clock a.m. It looks bullish as of right now. It could push a little higher, but then we're going to be watching to see if the Michigan data leads to something bearish or not. It could keep going, guys. It could get close to like 411 plus. But we'll be watching to see if we get a rejection. To be bearish, you want to see it lose this trend line and lose, come down like this, come back down to 408. It needs to lose the white trend line. So far, it hasn't done that, so it still favors the bulls a bit more as it's fighting resistance at 409. On Nvidia is looking pretty decent right now, trying to uptrend. We could see it slowly make its way up to 495. We have this imbalance to fill, so I think it's going to get very close to 498 to 500. Could go even a little bit higher than that, but I think that it's going to push its way back up towards the 498 to 500 area. It is trying to uptrend so far. I think it has more room for upside, but watch and see if we get a break. So if Nvidia kind of like does this, it just continues to soar like this, that's awesome and all. And I think that so far it's respecting this channel. There's a very, very good chance it's going to remain in this channel. But just for hypothetical reasons, in order for us to turn bearish, you need to see Nvidia basically break this support right here. Once we break this support, that's when it could start sinking like that. That's how you want to turn bearish. Right now, it hasn't done that, so the odds favor that's going to just maintain this channel, just try to push higher and higher and higher for the time being. And make sure you watch resistance at 495. If that breaks, we'll look for a push to 498 to 500. To be bearish, you want to see it basically lose 490 as support. If we lose 490, we're going to be sinking back down to 488, and we have these lower levels below that. As of right now, it's on a nice uptrend, so watch it as time goes on. For Tesla stock, it looks bullish so far, but it's trying to make its way back above this yellow trend line. We're just barely holding right now, this 256 range. If we continue to hold when we open, look for a push for 258. If we fail, we might just kind of like shop for a bit, but we're still technically on an uptrend. Tesla's going to remain bullish, even if we like kind of like reject here and come back up. We're still bullish overall on Tesla. It's still bullish. Okay, we're still uptrending. You guys see it's making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. It's still bullish overall. But once the Michigan consumer sentiment data comes out at 10, we'll see if Tesla keeps pushing like this to go back up to 258 or so, or if Tesla ends up getting a rejection. If you want to turn bearish, just like when I said on SPY, you need to see a change in market structure. You need to see this thing break like this and turn like that in order for us to turn bearish. You want to see it basically lose its support around 255 and then come back below those levels. Right now, it's holding up nicely. We're going to be watching it to see if it holds this trend line, if it maintains this channel. So it's looking decent overall. And the odds to favor a push to 258 plus. If that breaks, you're going to be watching for 260. Then we have 262.5 and 265. For support, watch 255, 254, 252, and then 250. That's it for Tesla. Now we're going to be looking at Aapl. Apple's looking decent. It's actually not as strong as other tickers, but it's trying to push back up. And a very, very nice looking rejection yesterday before it tried to make its way back up. Now it's trying to push up towards this imbalance. Look for a push back up to 195.79. It's basically 195.8. Then we have 196 coming out. So it looks like it could uptrend just a bit. And we'll watch and see how this resistance ends up reacting. But as of right now, watch this resistance. We have another resistance that's worth noting on Aapl. Just be a little careful here because this resistance right here technically is what could lead to this breakout. You couldn't even like readjust this. So we're still technically at resistance like right here. Let's see if Apple could try to break out of this. I think it's gonna, excuse me, sorry guys. I think it's gonna try to break this. I think it's gonna push up higher. So I think Apple's gonna try to push a little bit more, try to get back above 195.5. And I think it's gonna help the market to some extent. But watch and see, guys, what the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report causes. Watch and see what the 5-year inflationary expectations cause, and watch for some volatility 30 minutes after the market opens. We'll see what this causes as well. With that being said, guys, please have an absolutely spectacular rest of the day. Remain calm, cool, and collected. And I'll see you guys very, very soon for the next video. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy what Friday has to offer, and peace out.